Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Live on this beautiful Saturday here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the universe. But then you too are the center of the universe. And it was delicious rain this morning, and I've had adventures to share. The title of this talk today, I just thought of it when a lot of times when I set the Facebook up, the iPad up, and then I get the camera set up and I go get the live page, push live, and it says write a title. So I just wrote the Zen of Catch 22. Remember that book? There was a movie, Catch 22. It refers to the Catch 22 refers to the double binds of life. A double bind is when you have two contradictory movements or commandments in a mutually dependent situation that cancel each other out. And these are the source of tragedy, anger, creativity, or laughter. For instance, last night we had a birthday party and for a friend of ours, and my wife had bought a little chandelier to put on the cake for the candles, but it only took very small candles. So she grabbed these candles because they fit in the chandelier. So when our friend was getting ready to have her big birthday wish, you just get one wish a year. Your birthday, you get a wish, that's it. So she was going to blow out a wish, and they kept relighting. So she had bought magic relight birthday candles, Catch 22. So no matter how hard she blew, you see, that's the Catch 22 is they're supposed to blow out, but they don't. So you keep trying to make them, because they're supposed to blow out. The commandment is blow out the candles. But the candles don't blow out, Catch 22. So you keep trying, hoping for a different result. Can't do it. So a friend of mine called up and said, I locked out of my car. So I had an extra set of keys, so I went over to unlock the car. What had happened was Catch 22. So Catch 22 is when, in this situation, two actions that normally do not create a Catch-22 converged. The two actions were, he accidentally dropped the car keys on the floor because he had some bags, and it was raining. And so with the bags, he opened the door and he accidentally pushed the lock with his elbow. Catch-22. He shut the door, he was locked out. Normally, you take the car keys out, put them in your pocket. Or normally, you don't push the lock button with your elbow. Put them both together, Catch-22. And my uncle was my beloved uncle was a artist in Catch-22 because he left little Catch-22s all over the house. This is one here. Put this on your expensive furniture, and somebody comes by. Oh my God! And they look at it, and then it's just a plastic thing, Catch-22. Or this one, oh, look at that. This is a little Polynesian figure. I wonder, isn't that interesting? Whoa, Catch-22. So these are jokes. But the whole universe is made. I feel that evolution of consciousness is created by Catch-22s. Christianity, let there be. All right, let's get back up here to I've left this up several days. Let there be one. Okay. Well, a Catch-22 is when you can't obey that commandment. This is the categorical imperative commandment of life. Let there be one. There must be one, not two. There must be one me, not two. The movie Oblivion with Tom Cruise was a beautiful movie that investigated the problem of what it would be like if there were two yous, two clones, both with the same experience. Would you be two or would you be one? If you had an identical clone with the very same experiences, what makes us one, you see? What makes us the unique one that is the center of the universe? Like I told you when we began this, Blackstone is the center of the universe. Everyone who grew up here feels that this was the center of the universe. You know, if you grow up in a small town, everything zooms out from that. Everything zooms into that, you see. So we're all that unique one. So let there be one, you see. But when there's a catch-22, we can't be one because we can't choose. You see, to be one means you have to be able to choose. In other words, if I say, do you want this cup or that cup? Well, you are the one. You choose the one. You choose this one or that one. And everything's fine. You move on. You have chosen yourself. You have created your world out of your choice. We don't realize this. But if I choose this, I create a different world. Then I don't have another cup here with me. But if I chose this cup, I create through that choice a whole different world that I'm going to live in, other than the world that if I'd chosen the other cup, or a car, or anything. Whatever we choose creates a world. And you can't go back again and undo that choice. Had you ever thought about it? I never thought about it until just now. Whatever I choose creates the world I'm going to live in, because I have that choice is like a butterfly flapping in Brazil whose wings change the weather in Oklahoma. So every choice I make, you see, alters big choices or little choices. It doesn't make any difference. If I go through that door or that door, I might go through that door and trip and break my neck. I might go through that door and trip and break my neck, you see. That choice would alter my whole life. And it was this or that, you see. But the double bind, the catch-22, is when you can't choose because they are both equal but contradictory. They cancel each other out. The keys are on the floor, the door's locked. I'm supposed to blow the candle out, but it keeps relighting. So these little catch-22s are the stuff that life is made of, because on the simple level they are the source of jokes, humor, irony. Irony is catch-22, or they're the source of creativity. Even all the way into Christianity. Christianity is a catch-22 with its primary commandment. The imperative of Christianity is love your God with all your heart. Do you see the catch-22 in that? Do you see the candles that you can't blow out in that? Love my God with all my heart. Okay, I'm trying. I'm trying. But it keeps lighting. I can't blow it out. Love your God with all your heart is the same as saying, try to be spontaneous. Tell a kid that. Smile for the photographer. Oh, stop smiling. So, telling a kid to try to smile is telling him to try to be spontaneous. But on the religious level, it's try to love your God with all your heart. You can't do it. It's catch-22. Trying cancels out love. You can't try to love. Love is surrender. Trying is effort. Is the opposite of surrender. I'm trying. Try and relax. Try and relax. Try and surrender. Catch-22. We're full of it, but we don't see it. But when we do, now this is what Zen is all about. Zen, Renzai Zen, not Soto Zen, there are two Zens. Soto Zen is just sitting. Renzai Zen includes sitting, but it also includes the koan that you have to try to solve. And the koan is a catch-22. The koan is blow this candle out. But you have to blow it out. You have to choose. You have to do it, but you can't. You see, it keeps reigniting. So this whole idea of the koan is, or the catch-22, is really very profound as we get to look into it. And I've spent most of my life has been catching myself in catch-22s. And for me, it was like one hand was doing the opposite of what the other hand was doing, like a shadow. It's like one hand was, the left hand was a shadow hand. And so I would want to do this, and this hand would come along and do the opposite. And I wouldn't know it was doing it. And then I'd be stuck. This hand would be conscious, this hand would be unconscious. Light and dark. Night and day. Night and day, let there be one. Night and day, you are the one. So the one includes, transcends the catch-22. Because when you have the catch-22, you have to find the one. That is the commandment. And if you can't, it drives you completely nuts or to suicide. Suicides are basically a failure in transcending the catch-22 of the psyche, where the mind is split and it can't find the one, so it goes towards violence and shoots it. Or it takes the leap of transcendence and creates a new person, a new being that includes the catch-22. So looking at it from that way, you have the right hand of consciousness, the left hand of unconsciousness. And until we become one, these two hands are going to be trying to clap. Like a person with palsy trying to clap, like this. Or what is the sound of one hand clapping? That's the one. The one hand clapping is the one that transcends the two. But so you see, when the two are disjointed, when the consciousness and the unconscious, the light and the night, the day and the night, are not one, but two, they're going against each other. So all that is not accepted in the shadow becomes an unconscious against it, you see. So until I accept my whole self and see my oneness, that includes my catch-22, I'm going to create catch-22s. You see, so we create the catch-22s in order to transcend them. We create the and this has been my whole path, really, is the discovery of the catch-22s that I have created and caught myself in. A catch-22 is a straitjacket. The more you struggle, the tighter it is. A catch-22 is the perfect trap, because the struggle to get out creates the trap. You see, it's the perfect trap, because you can't get out of it by trying to get out of it. It's the Brer Rabbit in the briar patch, stuck on the tar baby. The tar baby is the catch-22. You see, so we create these little catch-22s in order to, like a Zen master, as if our whole self, our one self, is a Zen master, and it's going to create the catch-22s so the mind can see the duality, the one in the duality. So the mind can discover the one that includes the right and the left hand. And that discovery is like this, when the hands come together. See, this means my hands are together. My conscious and my unconscious are together. They're not in conflict. They become in conflict when there are elements of ourself that we're not accepting. that we have pushed out. Well, when we don't accept something in ourself, it goes into the shadow, and then the shadow begins an opposite hand, and that shadow begins to conflict or trap the self, you see. So the perfect trap is always going to be self-created for the purpose of laughter, transcendence, you see. Or it can go violently or unresolved and then just kick down the road. So an unresolved catch-22 just creates karma, and we create it again and again and again and again, you see. A catch-22 on the, you see these little catch-22s here are, and my uncle, I look at my uncle from this wide-angle view, and he was a Zen master in the sense that on his level of creating these little jokes, he just loved these jokes to make people laugh. So laughter is the transcendence of the catch-22. When we laugh, we're one. Have you ever noticed? When we laugh, we're not two. I'm not thinking about laughing. I'm not wondering how long I'm going to laugh. You see, I'm not measuring my laughter. I just laugh. So in the laughter, I have fulfilled the commandment of letting there be one. We are one in laughter. When we're both laughing, we're one. When you get a whole crowd of people laughing, you're one with the crowd. This stand-up comics do this. And once they get that, excuse me, once they get that energy going, they'll laugh at anything. Robin Williams did that. I mean, once he got that energy going, he could do whatever he did, people laughed. So anyway, I've just been looking into the Zen of Catch-22, and I've got a catch in my throat. So we'll end with that, and thank you for dropping in.